Hi there, Dr. Denise Glassmoyer here. Today we're going to be talking about taking care of yourself when it feels as though your heart is breaking. This could be because you are still grieving the loss of the relationship, or in the very least, what you had hoped and dreamed the relationship would be. It could be that you feel you have lost or are losing yourself to this relationship. But there are many, many things that happen over the course and in the aftermath of an emotionally abusive relationship that can cause your heart to feel as though it's breaking. One of the things that happens is that our minds tend to mill over and over and over this thing that is so haunting to us. We perseverate on it, we think about it, we fret about it, we lose sleep about it. And the fact of the matter is, the more we think about it, the more we mill it over and over in our minds, the more we are actually creating distress for ourselves. We're creating suffering. What has happened to you is painful. It's some of the most painful stuff that a person can go through. And yet, when you are not in the presence of that person, the pain is not happening in that moment. What happens in that moment when we think about something over and over and over is suffering. It's distress. And although it doesn't feel that we have control over that, we actually do. And we can train our minds to let go of that, to give ourselves a break. That doesn't mean that we're pushing it away, that we're shoving it down, that we're pretending that we're not having the feelings that we're having. It doesn't mean that at all. It simply means that we are learning to develop psychological flexibility so that we don't have to suffer and feel distressed all the time. Maybe we can choose to think about it for a period of time. Perhaps you're looking for a solution. Perhaps you're making decisions. Maybe you have children and you're looking at what is the level of no contact here that makes sense so that we can co-parent or parallel parent, and that I'm not putting myself in harm's way by continuing to interact with this abusive individual. So how do we do this? Now, there's not a single person over the last decade that I have taught this to that hasn't looked at me and said, "Really? You make it sound so easy. If I could do that, I would be doing that." So right off the bat, I want to acknowledge this isn't easy. It's also not goal-oriented. We are not going to do what I'm going to teach you in order to feel relaxed or to stop feeling something painful. This is not about checking out. This is about checking in. What I'm talking about is using our senses, what we see, what we hear, what we feel, what we smell, perhaps even what we taste, and our breath as tools to ground ourselves in the moment that we're in. If you are out of the relationship and your heart is still aching from it, most of the time you are not being impacted physically in this moment by the relationship. So how do you escape from it? It haunts you. It haunts your dreams. It haunts your thoughts. The way that you escape it is to use either one of your senses or your breath to bring yourself back to the present moment. During a particularly difficult time in my own life, when a family member was in peril, they were hurting, they were unsafe, and I was terrified, was to use the mantra, "There's peace in this moment. There's peace here now." So even though I couldn't control what might be happening with this person in that very same moment, they were not in my care. They were not in my presence. I couldn't do anything about what might be happening or not happening as a result of their choice. And so I taught myself to let it go. And that mantra was something that I used when I was struggling with being present, with coming back to the present moment. So, how do you do this? I want you to focus on, for a moment, your sense of hearing. You're hearing my voice. Perhaps you're hearing things in the room that you're in. You might be hearing background noise. You might be hearing things inside the room, outside the room, near, far. A lot of what you're hearing, you're probably not aware of. So what I want you to do is to close your eyes. Close your eyes and on purpose focus all of your attention on your sense of hearing. My voice is going to be quiet for a couple of moments, and I want you to pay attention to the layers and layers of sounds both inside and outside the room where you are. So listen. You may notice as you are listening that your mind is still wandering, that it's difficult to bring all of your attention to, in this case, your sense of hearing. So that's normal. That's what our minds do. And if we're particularly anxious or stressed or distressed, our minds are going to do that more. So know that it's normal. And just as you would a little child, when your mind wanders off, say, come on back here. Let's listen again and refocus your sense back on your sense of hearing. Every time you do this, it's like flexing a muscle. It's like lifting a weight at the gym. Every time you do this, you are getting stronger and stronger at being able to let go and be present. So some days as you do this, it will be relaxing perhaps. Other days, anything but relaxing. We're not going for relaxing. We do not have any goal here except to let the moment be what it is and to bring our attention, in this case, to our sense of hearing. So I want you to practice this at least once a day, preferably a couple times a day. It doesn't have to be for a long time. It could be for just a few minutes. But remember, the more you do this, the better you're going to get at it, and the quicker you're going to get to that place of psychological flexibility where you can notice. Your mind is anywhere but here. Your mind might be thinking about all of those horrific things that happened in your relationship. It might be thinking about, how am I ever going to escape this relationship? It might be, how am I going to get myself back? It could be any sorts of number of things. But when you notice that, notice it. And use this tool to say, let it go. And come back and focus on your sense of hearing. So give it a try. I'll look forward to hearing from you, hear how it's going for you. Be gentle with yourself, be patient with yourself, and remember, there are days when this is going to be really hard. But it's like the work that you do on your body when you're working at the gym or walking or running or whatever, eating healthy. It's worth it. It makes a difference. So remember, I have been where you are. I am here to help. And everything that I'm sharing with you, I have incorporated into my own life, and it's made a big difference. So go out and make it a great day, and I'll look forward to hearing from you and seeing you again soon. Bye-bye.